Unity just released a blog post detailing their new pricing plan. It's come as a bit of a surprise to a lot of us, so I thought I'd share my thoughts and what my plans are and whether I will be moving on to another game engine. The new pricing plan states that once you reach $200,000 and 200,000 installs, Unity will start to charge you 20 cents per installation of your game. I would like to start by saying that currently these pricing changes will not affect me. Heck, they won't affect many of us, maybe ever. But for a lot of us who intend to grow a business, a change like this in the manner with which it was communicated is not what you want to hear. I left my job at the end of January of this year to pursue my dream of starting a studio of my own. In preparation for this journey, I invested a lot of the money that I had saved into tools to help me do just that. Tools which, you guessed it, mostly exist within the Unity ecosystem. They are tools that I invested in to help me at the start of my journey because I knew that making games solo is something that is incredibly difficult to do. So if this pricing change is one that doesn't directly affect me just yet, why am I making this video? Why am I thinking of jumping ship from Unity despite the investment I've made in tools within its ecosystem? Well, it's quite simple really. It's a matter of trust. The way Unity decided to drop the information on this pricing change was pretty jarring. A simple, hey, we're gonna start charging you 20 cents per install starting 4 months from now, enjoy and good luck, is simply not good enough. And as more information comes out from Unity employees, it seems like a lot of the questions we're all raising now have been raised internally by employees for months. But the answers were never properly documented. It actually kind of feels like they're just making the answers up as they go along and as they come under fire. Additionally, I really don't think it's a good enough response for them to say, whoa, chill, this is only going to affect 10% of the user base. Maybe that's true, but you've now violated our trust to a point where I'm thinking that maybe 6 months from now you might roll out another change that affects only 20% of the user base, and then 30%, and then the entire user base. I am certainly not a financial expert, but what I've found very strange is that Unity has reported consistent growth and year-on-year profits, last reports being in Q2 of 2023. Yet, even with this, we've seen them cut hundreds of jobs and internal projects that the community of people who actually use the software were really invested in. Once you start to dig a little deeper though, you see that a lot of Unity's revenue is coming from what they call their growth solutions, which is their ads and analytics services. Their growth solutions catered for nearly 64% of their total revenue in Q2 of 2023, and it was an increase of 157% compared to the previous quarter. Compare that with what they like to call their create solutions, which is the editor, runtime, and other tools we use to make games with, which comprise the remaining 36% of their revenue in Q2. But this was only an increase of 17% compared to the previous quarter. So it seems pretty obvious that to impose a pricing change like this is effectively an attempt to increase the growth of their create solutions to more closely match the growth of their growth solutions. So really, what conclusion can we draw from all of these numbers? Well, it is and has been pretty obvious to a lot of us for some time now that Unity's board and John Riccitiello are focused entirely on their bottom line. They have a tendency to make decisions to benefit the bottom line of their company, despite the impact that will inevitably have on the people who use their software to create the products that make them their money in the first place. A few final words before I tell you what my plan is. I would like to please ask you to be kind to the Unity staff if you are interacting with them throughout this period. They are not the ones making these wacky decisions, they are merely trying to put out fires created by people who they have no control over. People who overlook their staff as much as they overlook the users of their product. If we as users feel like we cannot trust the company, imagine what it must feel like for someone who works there and is just trying to earn a living whilst creating tools with the intention of giving us the ability to create amazing games. Also, I would advise you to make your own decisions. A lot of people are very angry right now, and it's easy to get caught up in other people's opinions, even the opinions of this video. I implore you to research your own facts and understand deeply what these changes mean for you before making any decisions that will impact you in the long run. With that said, I intend on finishing They Come in Waves, which is the game you see in the background. It would take me months to port my progress across to Unreal, and I simply cannot afford such an investment of my time right now. But I will be working on smaller projects in Unreal and Godot over the next few months and making videos about them, of course, before deciding on an engine to switch to once I've completed and released my game. Morally, I feel like it makes no sense to continue to support and promote an engine whilst the company's values do not align with my own. My values are quite simple. Put your people before your bottom line.